Use waters and you roll it. And we shall also not remember you. But to all the Muslims who celebrated Eid yesterday, all I can say is Assalamu alaikum, and may your sacrifices that you sacrificed be heard by the Almighty Allah. A very, very good morning. Welcome to One-on-One Talk Show. My beautiful name is Sheila Kahunde, and of course I'm here to take you through what we do every single Saturday and every single morning. Well, the State of the National Address was addressed by His Excellency, the President of Uganda. And he mentioned a number of things that he has done. And some of them were the roads, the industry hubs that had come up, and so forth and so forth. On the 12th of June, we will have the budget being read out. But guess what? This time the president talked about the things that he's likely to talk about, or the things that he mentioned will be he's going to talk about corruption, because corruption has become corruption. And he says, meanwhile, these are his words, that he doesn't know about anything that is happening, but he hears there's a lot of corruption. And trust me, Mr. Moses, I can see you're really smiling before I even introduce your name. He said these are the things that are happening behind his back. And for one thing, as a leader, I believe that what he says is absolutely true. Why? Because even you, when you're in a family and you have a child from another wife and you're married, maybe this kid is mistreated and you're not aware. Well, Mr. Moses, the PRO, why are you smiling?
No, you're making interesting statements.
But these are the statements that were mentioned.
He's a very interesting leader.
By His Excellency. I was actually in shock when he said, these are the things I hear behind my back. I do not know about them. But anyway, he decided to introduce himself before I introduce him. Good morning, Mr. Moses.
Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Sheila.
Glad to see you.
Happy to be back again.
You didn't invite me yesterday, but it is okay. Christmas is coming. He's going to be born.
You know,
I will eat my meat.
The challenge we have as we ensure that other people celebrate.
I didn't celebrate.
And our happiness is in seeing others happy.
I waited for your call.
Because on the Eid day, all of us were busy working.
By the way, it was a working day.
It was a working day. The funny bit about we, the people in the NRM, or what we call the NRA, where people think they are resting.
For you, you're busy working.
You have to be working.
Well, Mr. Moses has said it, so I will forgive him. Maybe, and I'll think about it. Maybe by the time I leave this show, I will have thought about forgiving you. Mr. Moses, the nominations are going on. We've seen the Vice President of Uganda was the first person to pick her nomination. And then we saw the speaker was the second person to pick the nominations. The words that are going on in courts, the Right Honorable Moses Ali also picked nominations. My question would be, in his state and in his condition, do you think it is wise for him to pick nominations and stand again as an area MP?
The most important question we would be asking, because he doesn't vote for himself.
The people vote for him.
He's voted by the people.
Yes.
And I do personally have a belief that by the time he made a decision to go and pick the nomination forms, he must have consulted his medical team. He must have made a wide number of consultations from his constituency. Because much as we are here, we will say this and that, but I don't vote from his constituency. The people who vote for him are paramount in making a decision. For some people like Moses Ali, the general, he has been in parliament for quite a long time.
Yes. And he's unopposed.
And my question is, why has he all the time been in parliament? Why has he all the time under the trust of the people of the West Nile? That is the most important question we should be asking. Because this is the very same question people have been asking, why are we voting Museveni for all the time?
Yes.
So some people think being sick is a limitation to something. The health condition he's going through is not pleasing, but I believe he has consulted his medical team. And if they advised him otherwise, not to go and proceed, I wouldn't expect him to go and pick nomination forms. My prayer is that he gets a quick recovery because we still need him, we still need his services.
Well, the questions were that were happening, the questions that were being spoken, that isn't there any other person who can stand in his position? When we look at the NRM people that you people have, isn't there any other person that you people, the NRM, can vote and let this man take a break and get someone else to take over his position? These are the words of the people being spoken.
NRM doesn't determine who is going to contest where. And contest in his constituency. So my advice to those people having, there's so many questions, let them be answers to the questions they're asking. Let them go, pay the fees, pick the nomination forms, and go and contest. When they win him, they become the MP. If they fail, they will understand why the people are saying, we still need this man.
Well, you're watching One on One. My beautiful name has always been Sheila Kahunde, and of course we do have the budget coming up on the 12th of June, and of course on Monday it is going to be Heroes Day. There are heroes that you do celebrate. Well, these celebrations are going to be in our home, or that side of the west, which is Ntungamo. That's where the celebrations are going to be. Mr. Moses, some people are talking about the nominations that have been ongoing on, but the concern that is, bringing up people and the concern that is disturbing people is still the talks about Zimbabwe. The lady and the gentleman are fighting. One of them reached an extent of saying, this is my child. NRM is like my own child. I didn't give birth, so I gave birth to NRM. So people should vote for me. Whereas the people are like, this is the gentleman that has gone through. And on the talks that are going on, that the lady came out and even said that the president doesn't know about these, fightings in Zimbabwe. And we are seeing people are fighting. What picture does this give to the people that are going to vote?
One, whereas the public likes so much to concentrate on the negative, we should first try to underline what are the positives in this.
Sechikubo said he had done a great job when he was in Zimbabwe. I don't know whether that is true. And the lady says, no, it is me. And then the other person comes up and says, no, it is me. So which is which? We are seeing Sechikubo fighting for the position. We're seeing the lady fighting. We're seeing the gen. But these are all NRM people. And they're all fighting for just one position.
The most interesting positive notes to take from all that conflict that is happening, people are still interested in serving the party. And number two, it is good that the historicals who have been part of the movement for a long time, people like Hanifa Kawoya, you should not miss out their contribution to the party. But regardless of their contribution, they have to go through the democratic processes which are underlined, which they signed, such that we can continue moving or propelling forward as a party. Personally, I think her reasoning that she never gave birth to a child,
yes,
and so NRM is the child, it is an expression of passion, what she has at heart. And that's a political language, I would say. Those are personal feelings. She's trying to express what she feels as an individual. Sheila, I know it means much for a man or woman not to give birth. It means much. And if a person is giving justification that I have given all my concentration to this, all her love. The people who do not know Hanifa Kawoya is one of the yellow girls.
Yes.
One of the people from their youthful times have subscribed to the NRM and have been straight on the NRM.
Yeah, true.
All the time. No doubted about her
Yeah,
cadreship.
she's been there. That one I also agree with you. But the concern here is when people didn't line behind her, and of course it was a scuffle, and then some people said, no, we're tired, we needed a change. And then of course that's when she came out in this emotional state and said that, you know what, let's see this is like my own child, and I expect to be given a yellow ticket. And here it is. I am not. But this is what the NRM put, that if you want to go through, let the people vote. Let the people line behind you. But here we are, the people didn't line behind her. And it's a very
Shayla,
big concern.
the issues of Zimbabwe are beyond what people see.
Yes.
The lining is a question. It's a methodology we use. But before we get to the line, what processes are followed?
What are the criteria meanwhile? Maybe someone watching us doesn't know the criteria.
When we are voting, last time I told you at the polling station, we base on the register. Who is in the register? Is Kintu in the register? Is Shayla in the register? There you qualify to be a voter. In some occasions, where some people's names were omitted and they registered, there is a special consideration which is given. After consulting the local leadership, do you know this person? Yes, I know the person. Do you know her? I don't know her. The questions come in. Should we go for a voting where we don't use the register, that some people were skipped out? Because those errors are there, they're happening.
Yes. I gave you an example recently when you were here, that when we had the voting at National Theatre, I was a victim. The register came, my name was there in the first place. The second time, my name was not there. The third time, my name was there. The fourth time, the name was not there.
Yeah. Actually, before even I answer you, thank you for subscribing to the party. Little did I know that you support NRM. Because journalists out there,
these are not my words.
They fear to subscribe to our party.
These are the words of Mr. Moses.
But the issue of Zimbabwe,
yes.
Much as we have voters that are known, then we go on to investigate. Are you influencing those voters? And what methods are you using?
Mr. Kintu, do we want
if you go into a process where you are going to bribe voters to vote for you, you give them money, that is a crime.
Do we think that there's a lot of bribery
that is
Zimbabwe?
A crime. Zimbabwe's issue is very, very, very fragile. However, I want to assure you, the movement has never lost solutions. We shall come up with a lasting solution for Zimbabwe. There are other places like in Ntungamo, we have not yet voted as well, the district level.
Yes.
There are some positions which we have not yet voted yet. And there are some other areas where we are going to have a redo of the election, where there were issues and people have petitioned.
Even in Kampala, I think we have some areas.
Yeah, we are going to have some areas where we are going to have a re-election, such that we bring about satisfaction of the voters and the candidates and satisfy the element of the democracy that we believe in. So don't stress so much with Zimbabwe. Don't stress so much with Ntungamo. All those issues, we shall resolve them.
But the questions that are going on, is it worth it?
Is it worth it? I think it is worth. Why? One of the strongholds we have as NRM is Zimbabwe. But we have lost, actually in the previous election, we had a no member of parliament. Because of the mistakes.
That happened.
The divisions that happened to the party. We have so many big people coming from the same similar districts. You know, when you have more than one lion in a forest, just know that they are going to be chaos. So Zimbabwe has a lot of bulls, I would say. Everyone feels they have the power. Everyone feels they have a contribution to the NRM. But at the end of the day, we must adhere to the processes. If the Electoral Commission has set guidelines of how an election must run, we have to adhere to that. And why I think we are going to have a lasting solution for it, we shall have enough deployment there. We shall have officials. Actually, Dr. Tango Doi will go there himself.
Yes, I think he's been
he will foresee how everything will be going on that election day, to understand how is everything going on. But
the people that are standing for that particular, you know, card, and the ones that are starting for that position, is they said that they wanted to meet His Excellency, the President of Uganda, so that you could sit into these matters. But they're saying, as well as you want to meet His Excellency, there are lots of, you know, here and there. You can't just meet him. Is there a problem in the people of Zimbabwe, mostly the ones that are standing to meet His Excellency?
The head of the family of the NRM is the president, who is the national chairman. The chairman has duties to make sure that there is harmony in the party. If, for example, I have concerns against the head of the Electoral Commission, and I think he's influencing whatever process that are happening, that I don't get fairness, where do I go? I run to the party chairman. They're not meeting him as a president of Uganda. They're meeting him as a party chairman.
But they said it's hard to meet him.
They will meet him. They will meet him.
That was their concern.
Because it isn't hard to meet him, but the processes. You don't just wake up one day that I want to meet the party chairman. He has to understand what is the issue. He has to get reports where all this fracas happening. What would be the solution? What are others thinking about whatever is going on? Because just imagine if the president was the only person saying that you go and be here, you go and be here. And I want to assure you, president will not wake up one day and appoint a person to be a leader in Zimbabwe.
The people.
For the NRM. It is the power of the people. His guidance will go back to the people. He will ensure that we observe fairness in the electoral processes. He's a lawful man. He cannot kill what he built.
Well, the financial year 2025-2026 national budget will be presented on the 12th of June, which is this very month. And of course, focuses on, Uganda's economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, and expanding bordering services, digital transformation, and marketing accesses. So when we look at this, when we look at the market, they're trying to, expand it to its capacity. The budget will be read. A lot of things have been talked about recently when we had the national address by His Excellency. I remember he mentioned we the Bazukulus have become very stubborn. In particular, he said the Bazukulus. And we're looking at these things that he mentioned about the roads that have been constructed, about the hubs, industrial hubs that have been constructed in different areas for these young youth to go through. When we look at the roads, do you think we've done enough for the roads in the country? As you, Mr. Moses.
That's a very interesting question. Sheila, when we are making an analysis of whether a person has performed or they have not performed, we have to check how did they find the state before they took leadership. By the time NRM got to power, that is in 1986, the whole road network that we had, the tarmac roads, I know that's where the most interest of you people is. Because you find so problems moving around on dusty roads. But the issue is as long as you can move
to your destination.
But we had 1,000 and something, 600 something roads by that time in 1986. As we talk now, we have a network of 6,000 plus road network. The issue is there connectivity? By the time His Excellency the President took charge, Ugandans couldn't move border to border. You could travel from Gulu to come to Kampala for 3 days. You could travel from Busia to come to Kampala for 3 days or 4. If you are going to Katuna, you could travel almost for a week. Is it the case today? You can move border to border within just a half of a day. And you're in Kampala, the capital city, and you drive back. Why don't we first appreciate that we have a good connectivity? When we talk about roads depreciate. I don't want Ugandans to be out there thinking that when you construct a road, you've done it once and for all, that there will be no damages there. However, I cannot disqualify the fact that some of the people we have, the technical people, have done us a disservice. For example, you come and look around Kampala. I know people have a concern around there. The roads today, they are tarmacking. Just after a span of 6 months, the same situation is back.
Well, I'll talk for my behalf and for some of us who stay in, Nigeria. I think I've seen that road being constructed. I do not know for the last how many years. And up to now, we are still where we are, but the roads are getting worse in that area. And here we are, we're talking about the budget that is coming up. And our main achieve, because this budget, this year's budget, is to make sure at least we achieve $500 billion by 2024. Is it going to be worth it? Do you think we're going to achieve that by 2024?
If we are strategic enough, actually the president's goal is not to get 2024. Rather, is it 2040? The goal is not to get to 2040. His goal is around 2035 that we have arrived. Getting to $500 billion,
that is what is in this
it
year's
means
budget.
that we are elevating Uganda from the middle income state we are to get to those tiger economies.
Because they expect the economy by 2040 to be at least, have achieved at least $500 billion.
Shaira, by the time we took up the economy of Uganda, it was around 3 point something, or relative to $5 billion to approximate it. Right now we have an economy which is 60 billion US dollars. But what has enabled that transformation from the 5 to the 60? There have been strategic steps which have been taken for us to get where we are. I've told you we had a road network which was just 1,000 something. We are in 6,000 tarmac roads. That is the network we have. When we come to the universities, the human capital development, you had Makerere. Right now you have how many universities?
We have Chambogo, we have KIU, we have MOBS, we have quite a number
so
of
many private institutions have cropped up. By the time we got to power, you were even importing labor experts to serve here. What you are doing here today, Kenyans used to do it because we never had the skills. We use strategic steps of the UPE, of the USE, and people laughed at us. Little did they know that this old man, a young by then, had a far vision. Well, right now you are crying unemployment as Ugandans. We have so many educated Ugandans who are unemployed. But for us, we smile and we thank God. Why do we thank God? There is a time in the leadership of Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni where we had a scarcity of skilled labor. Right now we have an abundance, a surplus of it. In that we can even export some of you to South Sudan. Ugandans can go and work anywhere in the world because you speak good English and you can communicate. What? But how have we been able to get to that? The UPE which you people abuse so much.
But you're talking about
the USE which you people you don't want even to mention about.
Mr. Moses, you're talking about a UPE. Are the schools still there? I'll give an example. We had a Shimoni just right here, where now Kingdom Kampala is. Shimoni is not there anymore. We had Bat Valley, and Bat Valley is there, but you know, a school that is there, but it is not hard. The school that is probably hard, that I would think that is still standing as a UPE school, is Nakasero.
There is Nakasero, there is Uganda Road.
But now, the emphasis that if we're talking about a school that is hard the most, would be Nakasero, because I think it is in the heart of Kampala.
What about Uganda Road?
What happened to our Shimoni?
The Shimoni was shifted and given a bigger acres of land. Do you travel to Bulindo sometimes?
That's where I stay.
Haven't you seen the Shimoni there?
I have not seen the Shimoni.
Sheila, you need to check your investigative journalism.
I haven't checked.
We never closed off Shimoni demonstration school. The process was, where the school was, it was a strategic land for some development to take place. And the exchange was that it was given a bigger piece of land where they could have a playground, where they could have enough space for the pupils to do their activities in a school. Right now the curriculum is changing from what you usually used to know, and people are going more practical, where they need to have laboratories. Do you think this space would be enough for Shimon? I know we can complain.
Yes.
I know Ugandans would say they felt so happy seeing a school in the heart of the city, which is very good. But we shifted the school to Bulindo, and it was given a much more bigger piece of land. And the school is there. The school didn't die. The school didn't die. Because now, look here, as we continue to develop, the Uganda we are talking about in 2040, we might be even having some ministries shifted from Kampala and they are taken to other cities.
Up countries.
Will Ugandans complain still?
Well, they would complain.
We are trying to bring about strategic steps that are going to be appreciated by every Ugandan. The Shimon demonstration school, where it was taken to Bulindo. Do you know the plot of land now? How it costs in Bulindo? Do you know the development that is spurring up because of the investment of the school? You don't look at all those positives. Ugandans are interested in only critiquing and underlining the negative parts. I want you to go where Shimon is. Look around the school. See the development that is growing up so fastly. The infrastructure, the housing infrastructure for the teachers. The parents, because they want to be near where their children are going to school. The residential places are going, the housing is cropping up at a very speedy rate. We are not looking at that. And at the end of the day, is the economy growing? The economy is growing. That is the most important part Ugandans should be concentrating on. You ask, do we still see UPE? The president, when he was giving the State of the Nation address, he told you that right now the Universal Primary Education Program is reaching 80,824,923 learners across the 12,433 government-aided primary schools. That is the UPE. And those are Ugandan children who are studying. That is the future of Uganda, which we are strategically aiming at. You know, people will do the opposition and they will make funny statements, but the NRM, we know where we are going. You were asking me that shall we able to achieve this by 2040?
2040, yes.
In 1990, come to a span of 2000, when the president used the NRM ideology of a mass approach, mass education, mass immunization, right now we are here. How many people do you see suffering from polio? How many people do you hear suffering from tuberculosis? How many people do you hear share? That was a strategic intervention. No one is thanking the president. At a time when the HIV was at the helm of being a world problem, this man came up with a strategic approach, the ABC method. And he was appreciated by the whole world. Using simple approaches that can easily be understood by the people, right now we have a Ugandan population at a span of 40 million people. Do you think it is by mistake? Why don't we appreciate that?
Well, you're watching One-on-One on U24. You can follow these conversations on U24 television. That's our YouTube channel. Or go to our Facebook page. Follow us. The conversation is ongoing. And of course on X. You will excuse me today. My voice is a little bit low. I've not been feeling well a couple of days, but I am getting there slowly by slowly. And of course we're looking at the State of the National address, we're looking at the upcoming budget, and we're also looking at, the nominations that have been picked by various people. And let's look into this budget that is going to be read on the 12th, Mr. Moses. And we're looking at having over half of this budget is expected to come from the local revenues collected by the Uganda Revenue Authority. And that is according to the Independent, that this money that we are looking at is the one that is going to help us boost our budget. And we're looking at how this budget was divided. Recently, we had Mulago Hospital complaining that the money that was allocated for was a little bit not exciting because, drugs are lacked in hospitals. But you find in the budget, they give other people more and then the other people get less.
Yeah, that can happen. And it's strategic. It's not by mistake. The president in his address yesterday, he mentioned about the good development of the biofarm.
Yes.
That is located at Matuga.
Yes.
You know, when we live,
which most people actually do not know about.
We see things and laugh. That man, the Magola, became so popular during COVID. When the Right Honorable former Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, led him to the president. People laughed. And people said they have stolen our money. Right now, that biofarm is doing a strong and great contribution to what we are seeing as a problem as of now. we are producing drugs. Aren't you, are you aware about that?
Oh yes, we do produce drugs.
We are even producing vaccines. Are you aware about that?
Oh yes, we have a malaria vaccine that has just come out of late.
Economically, when you have scarce resources, you must be very, very careful about how you invest in them. For example, if I choose, Mulago is very important, and everyone wants to see how people happy and healthy and okay, and they get right treatment.
I don't know whether,
But
Mr. Moses, before you go very far, I don't know whether you heard the recently, the justice who lost the husband. I don't know whether you heard her talk when she was, you know, expressing her...
The Mulyagonja, Irene?
Yes, yes, gratitude about, you know, Mulago, about Nsambia, about these hospitals. You could see that she's, you know, she's in a lot of pain. And then the money that is allocated is somehow, somewhere, not, you know, not comfortable. People are not comfortable. They say they should have allocated it with more money than the other.
In economics, as you choose to do your investment, you have to be sure where are we going to get the quick rate of return on whatever investments we are making. I know everyone would feel very, very disturbed. Mulago is not getting enough money. But I want you to also question the viewers and the public to question themselves. How about if we less invest in those investments or those sectors that are going to provide us with money quickly? Do you think it is a mistake for us to allocate more money in those sectors? The president right now is talking about agro-industrialization. The president is talking about science, technology, and innovation.
By the way, we do
the
have
president is talking about investing in tourism. Do you know the money we get from those sectors? And the money we collect is the same money which we shall use to increase on the budget of Mulago. And I am very much sure that what they had in the previous budget is being increased to the current budget, which we're getting into. But why did they get less funding? No one thinks about the turbulence we faced during COVID. The economy has been progressing steadily and moving carefully. Mulago and the health, in the entire health sector, we have really been facing a difficult time of aid cut. Really a difficult time of aid cut. But as the same people are struggling and there's so much complaining that we are giving less budget, let them also look into the challenges we've been facing as government. People decided to take away the funding. Why? Because we passed the Anti-Homosexuality Act.
Yes, which was a very big problem.
And they said we are taking away the budget. I am happy even that the good news is that the World Bank is rethinking. Because your people here whom you call the opposition people, I would be very straight, my elder brother Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu went so much confusing the entire world about how Uganda is going to kill anti-homosexuals, rather the homosexuals. He told them Uganda is not anymore safe for your people. Museveni is going to kill them. Because in their culture, for them, they find homosexuality okay, which is not acceptable in our culture.
Yes, in African traditional.
So the Chagulanyi told them that your people are going to be killed from there. Why are you giving aid to such a country under such a leadership? And he was promising them that in case they invest in him and he takes over leadership, he will be giving a conducive environment for them to do their homosexuality. We said no. The president said, okay, we shall survive. No one is thinking about all those challenges that we are facing. Look at what happened in Agoa, the same story over homosexuality, that we passed the act. We were scrapped off the list by the US. The president said, okay, we shall create a wider market in Africa. We have a 1-point-something billion people in Africa. Let us see how we use our integration in that we can make more sales to get the revenue. So those challenges have been there. And we have been taking strategic plans. How do we cover up the gaps? And I am very much sure in the upcoming budget, the health sector is going to have an increment from what they had in the concluding budget. So Ugandans shouldn't worry about that. But my argument to them is, let them concentrate on following issues point by point. All it goes back to their voting methods. Let them be careful. As they go to vote leaders, are they going to continue voting leaders who go and badmouth about the status of the nation?
Oh, the ones that are going to help them.
Or those ones who are going to say, look here, Europeans, much as in your culture it is okay to have homosexuality, in our culture it's not accepted. But we don't fight you people. All what the act says, we don't want you to promote your homosexuality from our country. They can come and they do the tourism. They can come and see what is going on. They can make the foreign direct investments. No problem. But all what we condemn, let them not practice the sexuality of the homosexuals in our country. That one, we cannot agree.
Well, on Thursday, the Parliament approved a budget of 76 trillion shillings, and of course, this is the budget that is going to be read to the Ugandans come 12th of June, 2025. And of course, this budget has a lot that we're expecting. And His Excellency, the President of Uganda, said this time it's going to talk about corruption. And I would love to, Mr. Kintu, to talk a bit about this, which the President talked about. And he said, and as a leader, I could feel his pain that, you know, he's talking about corruption. And he's like, these are the people that you wake up in the morning and tell them, don't give them bail. And then at the end of the day, you find out that this person has been given bail or bond. And he's talking about corruption. He's trying to kill corruption. What do you have to say about that?
The personality of our president is a rebel. And maybe what I want our viewers to understand, the party of NRM is different from government. Government has people that are permanent and pensionable. And the president is just elected for a 5 years term. So there is a very big question to ask. Does the government lie into the interests of the party? When the NRM has a manifesto which is condemning corruption, does the government promote and support the manifesto of the NRM? The president has come out on so many times and has been very clear, don't give bail to these ones. And you are the very people who host these legal personnel. They go back to the constitution. No, the constitution says this. You cannot, deny a person bail. It is their right. So it is a right for people to steal and walk free without being charged. Is it a right? The danger about the legality or the legalese in the constitution, they give a lot of allowances or exit points for people who do crime. And the president is saying, how do we solve this? How do we solve this? Because his problem is about these public servants who siphon the money which is meant for public service, and they are protected by the law. When he takes them to court, the lawyers parade, about 20 of them.
The given bond.
They come and they defend them. Your worship, according to the law says it is a right of someone. The law says when you are imprisoned beyond this point, the law comes in. And the question is, are we going to continue like this? I want you to refer to countries like Singapore or countries like China,
Japan,
which we love so much. Do you know what they do to the corrupt people?
They kill them.
Exactly.
Hang them, actually.
Exactly. In public.
In public.
For people to say that corruption is bad. And in our Uganda, the corrupt are celebrated and they are protected by the laws.
Isn't that really too much to say they are celebrated?
No, they are celebrated. Let me tell you something. The corrupt people, when they go back to their constituencies, the people celebrate them and they erect them. Isn't that celebration? What the voters would be doing, the moment you are underlisted or into an allegation of corruption and you are proven guilty of corruption, people wouldn't be voting for you. But what do Ugandans do? These people steal the money, they keep the money, and they take back to the voters. You know what they tell them? Banaye tugabaneko. And the people are very happy eating sinful money. Because that money is a sin. Even if they give it to you, you'll never see a blessing out of it. It will never give fruits out of it. That is the cry of the president. But the population is totally detached from what this old man is trying to show to us. In his speech, weren't you shocked for him to say that people were, using middlemen to buy fuel for the country.
Oh, yes, he mentioned it.
And actually, he felt pity for himself. He said, I was there, president, yet I don't know that people are using middlemen. What a honest leader do we have? How many leaders have you had coming publicly and admitting they made a mistake somewhere and they were not paying carefulness on their duty? But he accepted. I was there thinking I'm president as if I know everything happening. Yet people are stealing at my back.
At the back, yeah, he doesn't know anything
People
about it.
are in government. There are individuals who they call permanent secretaries. They are very powerful in this country. They determine what money goes where. When they sit at their Minister of ICT and National Guidance and Information, they determine how much is going to UBC. The permanent secretary. But how many times do you host them here? To give a justification of the money they give.
We actually do host them.
How many times? But those are the people who determine
time,
what money goes where and how it is used. Those are the very people, the commissioners. They are there driving a very big cars, permanent and pensionable. When they feel sick, even they are thrown out of the country. But they are the people who foresee how money is used in Mulago, how money is used in Churudu, how money is used in the health centers across the country. What does the permanent secretary do? What do the commissioners and the directors do? They are very, very comfortable in government. They enjoy life as the Chintus are here shouting, you know, NRM, we've done this, we are doing this. The permanent secretary is busy at their home sleeping, enjoying money. Do they care? Because for them, even if the NRM government collapses, the next government will find them there. And for me, I actually believe that is the biggest opposition we have. The people in government. They are the very people. Also, I wonder, how can we pass money to buy drugs? And there are shortages of drugs across the country in the health centers. And at the end of the month, we see national medical stores banning drugs that they are expired. Does it make any logic?
Of course, it doesn't make any sense.
We pass $1 billion of money, for example. We are going to construct this road. And we have approved a 3-layer tarmac. You find a 2-layer tarmac. Who was foreseeing the project? Where is the PS? Those people have disappointed us. The problem of Uganda are the Ugandans themselves. And you, the educated Ugandans. Because for us, as NRM, we believe, and many people will tell you, Muzei teyali bwatyo. Because the Muzei, who took over power in 1986, we first had 10 solid years of making sure that there is stability. There was no anything like corruption. There was no anything like mishandling of resources. Why? We were using the NRM methods. What he calls the Luwero methods. You were a thief, let them kill you. You've done this, be out of the system immediately. You've stolen this, compensate it. But when we got to your government, the government of Uganda where there are laws, the government of Uganda where they arrest MPs because they are corrupt, they take them to court. Oh, big lawyers come on board, big companies, this is Muema, this is ABCD. They come to defend and protect them using the constitution. And what they call so much rights. It is their right to have bail. It is their right, they cannot kept here. You know, your worship. And at the end of the day, the worship says, much as there is a recording justifying that there was a conversation, but I am not satisfied that the voice is for the accused. Can you imagine such conclusions and judgments? Are we really contributing towards the development of Uganda, or individuals are satisfying themselves?
Well, you're watching U24, Mr. Kintu Moses, PRO of ONC. He's the one trying to talk about some solutions that can be done, or what can we do as a country. And of course, as we head ahead of the national budget, which is going to be read 2025, and of course, it will be read on Thursday at Kololo. And of course, we expect a lot in this budget. And he has explained to you the people that eat man at the end of the day. We go back and vote for them. Mr. Kintu, what would be your last remarks this very morning?
My last remarks to Ugandans is, we have got to a season where you have all the power. Actually, they now govern what is going to happen. And the authority and power I'm talking about is the power in your vote. When you do vote for someone without a proper justification as to why you are voting for them, you vote for them because they have given you 1,000. You vote for them because they are looking so nice, they are beautiful, they are handsome, as if we are going to be their husbands and wives after them voting. You know people are very funny. Shaida, they can vote for you because you are looking nice. you know you want that woman because she looks very beautiful, and they give you a vote. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the very able MPs you see in parliament doing a lot of funny things, passing very, very irresponsible regulations, passing very irresponsible expenditures. But the blame goes back to the voters. A man called Lee Kuan Yew, the father of Singapore, he once said that I cannot have good ministers if I have a bad parliament. And you cannot have a good parliament if you have a bad electorate. The genesis of all the problem we see in the leadership goes back to the voter. Do the voters understand why they are voting? Do they understand the power in their vote? Very many funny things happen during the campaigning season. Do you know that most of us even go in bars where we are not supposed to be? But why? Because we know this person has power. I have to go to where he or she is. I must market my candidate to him or her.
True.
And the moment they are convinced, they will vote for my candidate. But fun enough, when some people go without reasoning, last weekend I was attending an introduction ceremony of one of our people at ONC. And the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi happened to come at that very event. The man came very disrespectfully, not dressed in the traditional attires,
Wow.
grabbed the microphone and said, Nzenkawambi. You know what he told the people? I'm very busy in Nwani 7. Now my question was, exactly. Turani Sam 7 to the introduction. The man was not even telling the people that in the concluding budget we are having, for the past 3 years, we have invested over 3.1 trillion. He was not talking about PDM.
But he was fighting.
But he told the people, Njeyo Nwani Sam 7. This is a man who is taking, I think, a 4th or 5th term in parliament. Agaba Museveni akozechi? Arudewo. But for him, he's contesting again to go back to the same parliament. So you, the voters, I want you to be smart enough. I am happy we have a generation of what they call the Gen Zs and the millennials. I understand now they are the majority of the population we have. The country is in your hands. And in your hands, you have a very strong strategic weapon. That is the ballot. The moment you go and you vote carelessly, just because someone is excited, you vote someone because they know how to abuse others, you are killing your country. They are going to pay a price of 5 years. A price of 5 years. We have been traversing the country, and there are constituencies you have reached when even people do not know who is their member of parliament.
True. They just hear about him. Or
they don't know who is their member of parliament.
They've never seen him.
But some people are there, you see them on TV putting on red caps which belong to the military. You see them saying that we are fighting the government, we are throwing it away. But in the constituency, people even don't know them. And people voted for them. But who is to blame? You, the voter.
Well, he has said it. I don't think I need to conclude. You have concluded it the right way that you were supposed to conclude it. Thank you so much, Mr. Kintu, for always coming through. We hope we'll be getting you more as we get to 2025, as we get to the, voting, because we're getting there slowly by slowly. Thank you so much for coming. And please send our sincere, grateful message to Hajat and tell her we'll host her sometime.
Yeah,
and
actually I will interest her.
Yes.
You host her here, she will come because she's very much passionate about the status of the Bazukulu.
Yes.
She's very much, concerned about how young people are being misled.
Yes.
Some even have been, accidentally led into subversive activities.
Yeah, drugs, they're using
you know,
drugs
young people have been recruited into militia groups by individuals who have their own interests. I will so much keep on the MPs and the leaders. You know, they tell them put on the red caps, put on the boots, you know, put on the army attires. No, nothing will happen to you. And you never see them putting on the same.
Exactly.
They don't do what they tell others to do. They are sacrificing other people's children. So Hajat Namiaro is so much concerned about that.
I wish we would have her next Saturday to talk about this particular issue, where the young people are put on the front, and then when it reaches to be in the court, the people that have put them on the front are not anywhere to be found. So we would gladly have her to talk about this issue, which is very important, and also talk about the industrial hubs that the president has put in place, the skilling for not only a girl child, but also for a boy child.
Which your opposition people don't talk about anywhere. They don't want to tell people that you can get skills for free without any payment.
Yeah.
Right now, actually, they are recruiting.
Yes, they are.
And all what a person needs is an introduction letter from the LC.
The LC and your national ID.
And your national ID.
If you have a national
that is all.
ID, yes.
And more important as well, the registration is going on for the national identification cards by NIRA.
Yes.
It is ongoing. And Ugandans, don't miss this opportunity.
Please.
Don't wait to get to a time where you will have to pay for you to be registered.
Yes.
Right now, the services are very free. Everything is free, apart from the people
who have
doing
lost their national IDs.
And those correcting particulars on their IDs.
And those, the renewals, probably.
The renewals, renewals are free, as long as you...
But if you've lost your national ID,
you have to bank some money.
You have to pay a fee, I think, of 50,000.
Exactly.
So no one should tell you that it's 100,000, it's 150. It's just a fee of 50,000, and then you can get your national ID replaced.
Exactly.
But even us here at UBC, we've been having various, you know, people coming in to register us for the national IDs. I am glad that my national ID is still on, so mine expires in 2033.
But don't miss the opportunity to renew.
I've tried to renew,
possible.
And they told me, for you, Katri, if you are 2027 at least, but you still have time. So I think we're waiting for the bunch of these other people, and then we can also fall in and get our IDs renewed. But tell Hajat that if it is possible, would have her to talk about the Bazukulus, because she has mentored many, and many are following her footsteps. So we'll be glad if we could host and we talk about these issues basically affecting the youth.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being part of this lovely show. Sorry, my voice is a little bit low because I have a little bit of cough and I've been unwell, but I'm getting there. Thank you so much. We are waiting for Heroes Day, which is on Monday. And then who is your hero? Your dad, your mother, your father could be your hero. But also the most important thing is we're waiting for the national budget, which is going to be read. The national budget will be read on 12th of June 2025, and a lot is expected in this budget. What are your expectations as a Ugandan? Well, let's wait and see what we have in the national budget. But also, His Excellency, when he was addressing the nation, he said his major concern that he will talk about on the day of the national budget will be talking about corruption. Let's wait and hear what he has to say. But for me and the whole crew, we say thank you so much for being part of this beautiful show. We hope to see you again. And also, we'll be here on Heroes Day to talk about the heroes and the achievements of NRM. And also not to forget, we'll be live giving you the budget. Have a blessed, blessed morning.